Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Col U TV as our pre-match show. My name is Harry Tottam, and we're here, the penultimate home game of the season. Where's time gone? Time flies when you're having fun, and it is the U's taking on Bradford City today in League Two. Bradford, nothing to play for. Is that a phrase we use? Yes, I mean it is. They're about 15 points clear of relegation, 20 points off the playoffs. So nice and safe. The U's, however, still battling for safety. We're almost there. But Joe Dunn says the work is not yet done. So on today's show, we're going to have highlights from Friday's game away at Exeter City, as well as a classic matchup when the U's took on Bradford here a few years ago. But first, we are going to look back to those highlights with U's taking on High Flyers Exeter City at St James's Park. So we say highlights. We use that term loosely here. Wasn't much there for the U's fans, but Exeter are soaring, as we say. They are seeking automatic promotion, which is very almost secured. Stats fairly bleak, though, unfortunately. The U's with just one shot, no corners in that match, dominated by Exeter City. But the best thing about football is that you can make your wrongs right very quickly. And the U's have another opportunity today against Bradford City. One man on the sidelines today will be Joe Dunn, and he spoke to us with his thoughts on that match on Friday.
Joe, a 2-0 defeat, you can't have too many complaints.
We can complain about our performance probably, because obviously we're very disappointed in how we played today, obviously against the top side. And I think in terms of complaints, it's probably we came off our game a bit, and we gave a really good team probably a bit too much respect at times. And as the game went on in the first half, it was just a case of trying to stay in it really. And Exeter really turned it on and brought their A game really, and we didn't. So in terms of that, it was disappointing.
Yeah, I suppose the spirit behind my question was saying you're up against a very good side, in terrific form, on their home patch, chasing promotion. And they were good, and it was always going to be difficult for you there as a consequence.
Yeah, we look at that speaks to itself. We tried to gain confidence in the fact that other top teams we've played against, we've put in some really good performances, and we felt we could come here and match that, if you like. We knew, obviously, of course, the situation with Exeter and the promotion and the sellout and everything else. There was a bit of a party atmosphere, if you like, but we came away from a lot of things that we did really well in previous games. But like you said, against the top side, who once they brought their A game to us, made it extremely difficult, and we're disappointed in the manner of how we conceded the goals. But we're also disappointed that we didn't really test them enough at the back and test our goalkeeper at all. Really.
I'm looking at my notes up until the half-hour mark. I make no record of any meaningful chance for the home side, and then they score. It must be frustrating to concede, bearing in mind they hadn't really carved you open that much at all.
Yeah, I understand that, and that was part of the game plan. However, it was a case that there's no relief, there's no release from that pressure, if you like. In previous games, we've been able to counter-attack sufficiently well, but we weren't able to connect on the attack. We weren't able to connect on the counter-attack. So we can sit in and defend and keep them at bay for periods of time. But if we couldn't connect on the turnover, it was always a case. It was just defending most of the first half.
Yeah, so what goes wrong with there? You're half an hour, it's 0-0, you're on the back foot, got that, they're the more likely side, but suddenly Jack Sparks is in on goal. You think, how does that happen?
Yeah, for a game like against these top sides, your concentration levels have to be 100%. And unfortunately, at that moment, it was a moment in the game where we switched off, and it cost us. But the top sides do that to you. Even the sides in and around us would do that to you. You just have to be on it all the time. But they took their one moment of real super quality in terms of getting the goal, and that kind of completely changed the game plan. But we as a collective are very disappointed as a staff and players. You know, we take collective responsibility for that defeat today, because we could have done a lot of things better in the game, which is very, very frustrating, really.
And yes, once they score, they then create lots of chances either side at half-time. Shamal George, whoever criticism there might be of the players outfield, he's keeping him in the game with a whole string of saves.
Yeah, I would agree with that, which kind of lends the weight to the collective disappointment in the group. You don't want your goalkeeper to be making that many saves. He's going to need to be called on, of course, against the teams at the top. And today, let's be honest, he kept the scoreline down a bit, which again leads into what I'm saying about our frustrations. Really, it's not us that didn't identify with what we've done since we've come in, and we just have to go again and make sure that we turn up again on Monday.
You did have one chance. Brendan Wood, who's inside the 6-yard box. I think it's been ruled out for handball. Yeah. No complaints?
No complaints. It's gone in off his hand. They were quite honest, the office. But listen, if we're clinging on to that, we need to do better than that. I don't think we forced a corner in the game. I don't think we forced a save out of goalkeeper. I don't think we broke the back line at all. So we need to look at it again on the bus going back and make sure that we're ready to go on Monday.
Very honest reflection there from assistant manager Joe Dunn. But as Neil Kelly touched on in that interview, there was one bright spark for the U's, and we've mentioned it lots of times this season, probably more than a team would like to mention, that our goalkeeper, Shamal George, made some fine saves in that game and was by quite a long way the U's man of the match, and we spoke to him afterwards as well.
Shamal, that was a difficult afternoon for you and all the players. Exeter City, a very good side.
Yeah, we knew coming in it was going to be a hard game. I don't even know what to say, to be honest. It's upsetting the way that we performed today. Even in there, then everyone's gutted about the way that we played. Almost as if like we're safe now, but we're not. So the boys need to switch on, and we got 4 more games. That's very important games that we need to get points out of. But it's not over yet.
Do you take any consolation that between the sticks you brought off some really good saves?
I've put off good saves. Individually, I'm quite happy with my performance, but it's not about me. You know what I mean? If I lose, well, the team loses, I lose. So it's no consolation on my side. Obviously, individually it's good, but I still feel the same going home, which is not good. So yeah.
Forgive me for persisting with some of the saves that you made. There's a cross that Timothy Dieng meets. He heads it back from whence it came. It's going into the top corner. You do well to get your hand on it. I still thought that was going to find the back of the net. But you've got such a strong hand, you managed to keep it out. You're smiling now. That's got to give you no result. Put that to one side, we'll get there. But that's a terrific save.
Well, I know I have to do my job. I'm a goalkeeper. That's my job, to keep the ball in there. Couldn't do it on 2 occasions, but I don't think that's very unfair down to myself. It's just upsetting, you know what I mean? yeah, I'm just good to be honest.
So you want to make a whole series of great saves when your side's winning the game?
Yeah, of course.
Of
Yeah.
course you do, yeah.
You know, I try my best to keep us in the game. I thought I'd done that. It's just, you know, I'm so good that we didn't win or even get a draw. You know, I knew it was going to be a tough game. The odds were stacked against us, but I still feel that we could have performed better than we did.
So I'm watching and I'm thinking, I've made no notes for the opening half hour on any extra attacks. And then suddenly Jack Sparks is in on goal and there's not much you can do about it.
No, it's just we knew that their fullbacks were going to bomb on, which left us quite isolated. You know, Hannah's working his socks off, getting up and down. So I kind of felt bad for him. You know, they didn't track his man. You know, he was knackered. You know, in there, everyone's knackered. You know, the weather, the occasion. So yes, it's just keep saying it, but I'm good.
And then once you do concede, it's hard, especially in the second half, and there's nothing you can do with the second half.
No, it's almost, you know, almost bombs away. And on top of us every 2 seconds. If we get a shot on target today, it's just we got to perform better. I know they're a really good side, but we're better than that. We showed it in the past few weeks. Last week wasn't good enough, this week's not good enough, so we can't fall into the trap of thinking that we're safe, because we're not. Just check the results there, you know. Things could go against us today, so we just got to stay switched on in the 4 games left.
Right, enough about Friday. Let's put that behind us. Some positivity, some optimism going into today's game. The U's take on Bradford City, and it's something to build on for the rest of this season, and also looking to next season, seeing those bright sparks, who's going to be the next one to come out from the woodwork. And we are going to have a look at the team lineups. Who is going to be that team that's going to do that for us today? So that man, Shamal George, retains his place in goal. Luke Chambers and Tommy Smith look to be playing at centre-back, with Junior Chamadou at right-back, Miles Kenlock left-back. And we've got lots of centre midfield experience in there today, with Cole Skuse and Brendan Weirdy keeping their place alongside Emir Hughes, with Alan Judge, the magician Noah Chilvers playing behind Freddie Sears. And on the bench, the sub-keeper, Ted Collins. Sam Hornby, usually the sub-keeper, is on loan from Bradford, so is not in the squad today. Miles Welsh-Hayes, Luke Hannon drops to the bench. And a fantastic timing of a return for Awura Edwards, the man who's caused a lot of teams a lot of problems this year, comes back to the bench after a stint out with injury. Let's hope he gets some minutes today. Tom Eastman, John Akinde, and Tyreek Wright are the players that make up the bench today. So now we're hoping they're going to provide us with 3 points. But the last time the U's beat Bradford City here at the JobServe Community Stadium was back in 2016. And we're going to have a look back on those highlights now. So there we are. Big win for the U's on that day. And we are definitely hoping for a repeat of that today. What are your predictions? Let us know. media@colchesterunited.net. I think it's about time that Cole Skuse, for all of his work he's done this season, one of our most consistent players, goes, under the radar. He's going to bag today. 1, if not 2, if not him. Then Amir Hughes gets on the score sheet for us today. The Hughes pick up the 3 points and we end our penultimate game of the season, penultimate home game of the season, should I say, here at the Job Served with a win. That's it from us today. It's now time. Make your way out to the stands. Cheer on the boys. Get behind the boys. Give them all the support you can here at the Job Served Community Stadium. Thanks for joining us. Up the Use. Goodbye.